Can a university institution coexist with the structural limitations inherent to artificial intelligence by establishing criteria, communicating its choices, and taking responsibility for the consequences? The answer lies in the realm of trust and reputation, two concepts that run throughout the entire MOOC and, in this lesson, become the focal point, because trust is the most fragile asset of an educational institution. And the governance of artificial intelligence, if done properly, is not just a regulatory obligation, it is an act of care towards those who are being educated within that institution. Institutional trust is built slowly and lost much more quickly. In university communication, it depends on three dimensions that overlap and reinforce each other. The first is consistency. The communications sent out by the university always say the same thing across all channels over time. As we saw in previous lessons, it is very difficult to maintain consistency, and artificial intelligence can help support it. The second is transparency. The institution says what it does and does what it says, including, when relevant, whether and how it uses artificial intelligence for communication. The third is authenticity. The communications express a recognizable voice, a genuine institutional identity, a presence that cares for those who receive them. These three dimensions are not automatically achieved with artificial intelligence. They require explicit institutional choices. How is trust lost? Usually, not through a single glaring mistake, but through a series of small and constant signals that give the impression the institution doesn't really care about people. A notice with the wrong deadline, an FAQ that doesn't answer the real question, generic feedback that could have been written for anyone, a uniform tone that doesn't take the reader into account. Each of these signals, taken on its own, is negligible. Accumulated over time, they erode the relationship between the student and the institution. The point isn't the mistake itself, it's the perception that no one is really overseeing the process. Institutions that adopt artificial intelligence without explicit governance risk multiplying these signals, not reducing them. The speed of production increases. The average quality may improve, but consistency and authenticity require active oversight, not automatic optimization. So, what does it mean to govern artificial intelligence in university communication? It doesn't mean banning it, nor adopting it uncritically. It means making decisions with discernment and communicating those decisions transparently. An operational governance framework is made up of 4 elements. The first is the AI usage policy. What uses of artificial intelligence are permitted? In which contexts? Under what conditions of human oversight? Not a generic document, but a practical guide for communicators. The second is transparency towards recipients. When and how? The institution informs its stakeholders that artificial intelligence has been used. The European AI Act, in Article 50, imposes disclosure obligations for systems that interact with people. Each university must know when these obligations apply. The third is quality assurance. Who checks and what? How often? According to which criteria? The rubrics we developed in week 3 are a practical tool for this quality assurance. The fourth is continuous training. Anyone using artificial intelligence in institutional communication must have the tools to do so responsibly. This MOOC is an example of such training. Who builds this framework? The instinctive answer is the head of the institution, the rector, the pro-rector for teaching, the legal office. The correct answer is that the responsibility is more widely shared. Research on the ethics of algorithms highlights that effective governance of artificial intelligence requires an organizational culture that is shared, and not just formal rules. Every person who uses artificial intelligence in university communication the lecturer who generates feedback, the administrative staff who rewrite a notice, the communications manager who optimizes an FAQ is a governance actor. The OECD principles on artificial intelligence identify distributed responsibility as one of the 5 fundamental aspects for trustworthy artificial intelligence. It's not enough for someone at the top to have signed a policy. Every level of the organization must understand and apply the criteria. In this MOOC, we followed a clear path. We started from the university communication ecosystem, talking about the complexity of channels and stakeholders and levels that often don't coordinate with each other. We've worked on operational clarity, plain language, the 4C model, multi-channel coherence, and tools to make everyday messages understandable. We've developed structured quality tools, evaluation rubrics, accessible FAQs, visualization, and tools to make quality measurable and shareable. And we've addressed the limitations and governance where artificial intelligence cannot reach and how an institution can govern its use responsibly. These 4 levels are not sequential, they are concentric. Each one's necessary to support the next. Governance is not the final step in a process. It is the condition that makes all the other steps sustainable over time. We've reached the end of this journey. The questions with which we opened the MOOC were: how can one communicate effectively in a university, and where can artificial intelligence help? The answer we've built together is not a list of tools, it's a professional attitude, the awareness that communication quality depends on explicit criteria, on human oversight and responsible institutional choices. Artificial intelligence is a powerful, useful tool with clear limitations. The judgment on how to use it, when, how much, and under what supervision remains irreducibly human and irreducibly institutional. And it is precisely here that the real challenge lies for the quality of university communication in the coming years. Thank you for taking this journey together.